All right, guys. So as we just discussed, Trump and Vance have really hit a new low. They are spreading propaganda that originated from a Nazi group called Blood Tribe. The propaganda is a lie that Haitian immigrants are eating cats. They've tried to back up the claim and find evidence after the fact, and every single thing they've put out there has been immediately debunked. We'll go through this in a little bit yet again, but you have multiple instances of people not in Springfield and they're not Haitian. In one instance, somebody's just clearing roadkill that was geese. In another instance, they say people are eating cats. Turns out it's a duck or a chicken. The thing that sparked this whole thing is one mentally ill person, not Haitian, not an immigrant, having a meltdown and killing a cat. And they try to pretend like there's a Haitian immigrant and they're from Springfield. And so now you have this, call it what it is, racist moral panic. Now, since Trump has lost all contact with normal people, since he surrounded himself with the likes of Laura Loomer and Stephen Miller and Corey Lewandowski and freaks like that, he doesn't know what's true or false anymore, and he doesn't know what helps his campaign and hurts his campaign anymore. So he thinks, hey, the libs are freaking out and yelling at us for this thing on the cats, so therefore we must be on to something. So he's been doubling down and tripling down and posting memes of him saving cats, and J.D. Vance is out there spreading Nazi propaganda, doubling down and tripling down, and they are just absolutely imploding right now. By the way, they polled this. Only 26% of the country thinks that this is happening. Only 26. That's really fucking low. Sure, it might be a little more than half the Republican Party, but you need a lot more than that to win an election. And by the way, independents, moderates, swing voters are disgusted by your fucking endless parade of lies against legal immigrants. You might not know that they're legal, but that's because the right has been lying to you. By the way, they pretend like, oh, we're just against the illegal immigrants. No, these are legal immigrants, and you're also against them. Gee, I wonder why. All right, so J.D. Vance goes on CNN to try to defend their indefensible campaign with the shit they've been saying, and man, oh man, it does not go well for him.
Why have I talked about some of the things that I've been talking about? Let me just say this. My constituents have brought approximately a dozen separate concerns to me. 10 of them are verifiable and confirmable, and a couple of them I talk about because my constituents are telling me firsthand that they're seeing these things. So I have two options, Dana. I can ignore them, which is what the American media has done for years to this community, or I can actually talk about what people are telling me. And of course, many of the things that the media says are completely baseless have since been confirmed. For example, I was told, Dana, that by the American media that it was baseless that migrants were capturing the geese from the local park pond and eating them. And yet there are 911 calls from well before this ever became a viral sensation of people complaining about that exact thing happening. So my attitude is listen to my constituents. Sometimes they're going to say things that people don't like, but they're saying things that people don't like because their town has been overwhelmed, and it's my job to try to fight for them and to protect them. Kamala Harris opened the border, and now these people are suffering. That's what I'm focused on, Dana.
Senator, I have to go through several things that you just said. First of all, the Clark County Sheriff and the Ohio Department of Natural Resources reviewed 11 months of 911 calls. They only identified 2 instances of people alleging Haitians were taking geese out of parks. They found 0 evidence to substantiate those claims.
And the one that was trending on social media of somebody carrying geese, not Haitian, and was clearing roadkill. Just hold your L, bro. Hold your L. Stop trying to wiggle your way out of it, weasel your way out of it. The video the right-wingers are pointing to as evidence, see, there's problems in Springfield. The video they're pointing to begins in the first 5 seconds with a white resident calling the legal Haitian migrants sand monkeys. Hold your fucking L. Stop digging the hole deeper, you dumbass.
Also, other evidence that you have talked about, even you've retweeted, alleged evidence, are unsourced social media videos from a different city, apparently no connection to Haitians. And this is from a conservative activist who offered a $5,000 reward for such things.
And by the way, in that video that Chris Rufo put out there, it wasn't a cat. There are cats in the video, but the thing that's on the grill is a duck or a chicken. It's not cats. Turns out when you tell people I'll give you $5,000 to back up this fucking baseless claim that I put out there, that they'll send you any sort of fucking bullshit, either because they want to help spread the racist lie or they want the money. And then he credulously puts it out there as if it's a case proven. No, it's not. Not remotely so.
Nobody is disputing that the town of Springfield, Ohio, needs help But you're not just a bystander. You're the senator from Ohio. So instead of saying things that are wrong and actually causing the hospitals, the schools, the government buildings to be evacuated because of bomb threats, because of the cats and dogs thing, why not actually...
Look at his little fucking Weasley prick face. Look at his face, man. He knows what he's doing is wrong. He knows he's got an Indian American wife. He knows what he's doing is wrong. Spreading hatred against legal immigrants. Bomb threats. Hospitals evacuated. Schools evacuated. All because of the fucking bullshit Trump said and that he's backing up here.
Be constructive in helping to better integrate them into the community, because there are a lot of employers there who say that the Haitian workers are helping fill jobs that they need desperately filled.
Dana, first of all, let me just respond to a couple things that you said, but I want to start with something you said, which I think is frankly disgusting and is more appropriate for a Democratic propagandist than it is for an American journalist. There is nothing that I have said that has led to threats against these hospitals. These hospitals.
Oh my God. What? I just helped spread the Nazi lie from the group Blood Tribe, and then people take this and start threatening the Haitian community in Springfield. Bro, what? I didn't even do anything, bro.
Bomb threats and so forth. It's disgusting. The violence is disgusting. We condemn it. We condemn all violence.
Senator, this happened after you and President Trump were on the debate stage, said that cats and dogs were being eaten.
You asked a question, Dana, and I'm going to go ahead and answer it.
Would these threats have happened if Trump didn't lie on the debate stage and say they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the geese? Would this have happened if J.D. Vance didn't go on his little fucking social media meltdown defending this? Would this have happened? Abso-fucking-lutely not. All right, we got more.
What we have said is that this town has suffered terribly under the policies of Kamala Harris. Now, you just accused me of inciting violence against the community when all that I've done is surface the complaints of my constituents, people who are suffering because of Kamala Harris's policies. Are we not allowed to talk about these problems because some psychopaths are threatening violence? We can condemn the violence on the one hand, but also talk about the terrible consequences of Kamala Harris's open border on the other hand.
He acts like these things haven't been fact-checked. He acts like people didn't look into this and find out it's wildly untrue. And of course, he's also spreading the lie that Kamala Harris is in favor of an open border. She is much more in agreement with Republicans than J.D. Vance would like to believe. They put forward a bipartisan bill to massively increase the number of Border Patrol agents, and it was Trump who slapped that down. Joe Biden signed an executive order to crack down on border crossings and cut off asylum. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden deported more people, both as a raw number and a percentage, compared to Donald Trump. He knows it's not fucking true that they're in favor of open borders. He knows that's bullshit. He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
The president said it to 60 million people.
Cats, and I talked about it because you were ignoring this community. My constituents talked about it.
Have you been
to Springfield? It's my responsibility to surface their concerns when the American media
ignores it. Have you been to
Springfield?
Springfield?
Dana, I've been to Springfield probably 100 times in my life.
How about
I've
recently,
taken my children
since
to
you've
get
heard
ice
this?
cream at Young's Jersey Dairy.
Have you heard recently since you've gotten these calls?
Have I been in the last 4 days?
No,
I
I'm
haven't
talking
been
about
in the last 4 days, but I've
since
talked to
you've
a lot
gotten
of
these
people in
calls from the
Springfield, Dana,
constituents.
and they're telling me this stuff is happening. Dana, would you like to ask me questions and then let me answer them, or would you like to debate me on these topics? I noticed that when you had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you gave them multiple choice answers to the questions that you asked.
Oh, here we go. Well, you're being unfair to me just because I shared a little Nazi-watsy lie. If you're gonna spread Nazi propaganda, yeah, the media absolutely should be on your fucking ass about it because you're a lying scumbag. I'm going to go to the facts again in just a second. Wait till the end of this. But he has an amazing admission that you're about to see in a little bit. Wait for it.
I'm happy to be here to talk about policy. But if you're going to interrupt me every single time that I open my mouth, then why am I even doing this? So please, ask a question, and I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me answer it.
Yes, I am. And I think that if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were making unsubstantiated claims that had racist undertones about...
It doesn't have racist undertones. It has racist overtones, undertones, tones. It's got all sorts of tones that are quite blatant and overt and brazen and in your face. It's not subtle. It's not subtle when this originated from a fucking Nazi group called Blood Tribe.
People eating dogs and cats, and they didn't answer the questions about that, then I would have similar interactions with them.
Bro, how are you getting bodied by Dana Bash? How are you getting... Dana Bash, one of the worst CNN hosts. And she's bodying you, bro. She's dismantling you. But wait, it gets better.
Just once and for all, you again, started this in part by saying that, at which Donald Trump repeated on the debate stage, that, and he didn't say anything about the policies that you're talking about. He just said Haitians are eating dogs and cats. Can you affirmatively say now that that is a rumor that has no basis with evidence?
Dana, the evidence is the firsthand account of my constituents who are...
He can't do it. He can't do it. Oh, my God. Guys, as I pointed out, the right is sharing this video, saying, see, this proves our point. Some right-wing YouTuber went to Springfield. Jack Posobiec shared it. In the first 5 seconds of the video, a white resident of Springfield calls the Haitians sand monkeys. Bro, you're not going to take that guy's word for it when he makes some shit up, bro? How could you, bro?
Dana, the evidence is the firsthand account of my constituents who are telling me that this happened. And by the way, I've been trying to talk about the problems in Springfield for months, and the American media ignored it. There was a congressional hearing just last week of angel moms who lost children because Kamala Harris let criminal migrants into this country who then murdered their children. The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to, create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because you guys are completely letting Kamala Harris coast. You had one interview with her. You talk about pushing back against me, Dana. You didn't push back against the fact that she cast the deciding vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which is why a lot of Americans can't afford food and housing.
You just said that you're creating a story.
Public policy.
Sir, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
You just said that this is a story that you created. So that the eating dogs and cats thing is not accurate.
Dana, it comes from firsthand accounts from my constituents. I say that we're creating a story, meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it. I didn't create 20,000 illegal migrants coming into Springfield thanks to Kamala Harris's policies. Her policies did that, but yes, we created the actual focus that allowed the American media to talk about this story and the suffering caused by Kamala Harris's policies.
So you see what happened there? He slipped up, he told the truth, and then in order to cover his ass to back out of it, he goes, fuck, did I say we created the story? We created the story, as in we created the media focus on the story by highlighting it. Yeah, you buying this? Guys, I want to play it for you one more time, because it's an incredible moment. Pay close attention. Listen to when he says it.
Criminal migrants into this country who then murdered their children. The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to, create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana.
If I have to create stories, holy shit. And then when he tries to clean it up, I mean, the attempt to clean it up wasn't even artful. It wasn't even remotely plausible. When I said we create stories, what I meant is we create stories as in we create the media focus on the story by highlighting it or something. I don't know. Oh my God, bro. Look, just to run through it one more time. The mayor comes out and says, hey, this story's not true. The police come out and say, hey, this story's not true. Here's the Republican governor of Ohio.
And here's a question I never thought I would have to ask, but do you see any evidence as governor of the state that Haitian immigrants are eating pets?
No, absolutely not.
Then we have this. Every single example they point to is bullshit. Every single example they point to is bullshit. So far, the visual evidence of Springfield Haitians illegally killing and eating animals has amounted to a non-Haitian mentally ill woman in Canton killing a cat, a non-Haitian man in Columbus legally clearing roadkill, dead cats in Texas that cops say were killed by coyotes. Then, of course, the fake news story spread by Christopher Rufo, who said, I'll pay you $5,000 if you do confirmation bias for me and send me any bullshit that I'll claim is proving my point. It, of course, was a chicken or a duck on a grill with cats around it, and he ran with it credulously. Every single example is bullshit. And then here's what it's actually like.
Mirsu says he came to Springfield for the same reason most Haitians did. He heard that housing was cheap and jobs were plentiful.
It started slowly. We had an application pool that was a little bit different.
People coming to work here.
People looking for jobs. What he's welding here again are welded axle components.
Jamie McGregor is the CEO of McGregor Metal, which makes welded parts for the auto and farm industries. Right now, about 10% of his workforce is Haitian, over 30 employees.
I wish I had 30 more. Our Haitian associates come to work every day. They don't have a drug problem. They'll stay at their machine. They'll achieve their numbers. They are here to work. And so in general, that's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
McGregor acknowledges the sudden arrival of so many new immigrants is a challenge on multiple fronts, but he believes this is partly how the industrial Midwest can regrow.
We want more jobs in our community. And in order to fill those jobs, some jobs need to be people who are not originally from here.
85% of Haitians are Christian. Most of them are Catholic. Some of them are Protestant. 85% in total are Christian. They are now reviving the churches in Springfield, Ohio. This piece goes on to point that out. We also have this fact. Springfield was dying before it started the campaign in 2014 to attract immigrants. For the first time in city history, the assessed tax value topped $1 billion for 2023. And remember, as a direct result of what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are saying, we have threats to Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio. 2 hospitals in Springfield needed to be evacuated because of bomb threats. And now you have KKK literature being passed out there. Why? All because they want to take the legal immigrants, scapegoat them, and kick them out. And let's call a spade here. It's not just mass deportation. They would like to do ethnic cleansing. That's what they would like to do. It's not hard to figure out. And by the way, you think the people that are in this area hyping up this problem, do you think, oh, that's a Haitian immigrant, but this person right here is just a black American? Let's be nuanced and reasonable. No. If you have dark skin, you're the enemy to these people. Again, in the video they used to prove their point, you have a white resident calling them sand monkeys. Guys, this is not a tough one. This is not difficult. This is Donald Trump and J.D. Vance spreading a lie that started with the neo-Nazi group called Blood Tribe. That's what this is. And now he's desperately trying to fight back against the barrage of fact checks, and he's failing miserably. So he ends up accidentally admitting, yeah, if I have to create stories, I'm going to create stories. By the way, oldest trick in the book. Mr. I'm a populist. I'm for the working man and woman. You're doing the oldest divide and conquer trick in the book. Pit the white working class against the minority groups in the working class. Have them fight it out while we run out the back door with all the money and give more tax cuts to Peter Thiel, his sugar daddy, his billionaire sugar daddy. So this is grotesque. I know I say it all the time, but for real, this is definitely a new low for these people. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.